Hey Joel, so what are you looking at for the week ahead?
Yeah, so looking at the currency market right now, a lot of interesting charts out there. One of the charts that we're looking at right now is the pound against the US dollar. A few weeks back, we talked about how the euro was showing signs of wanting to break higher, and indeed, that's how we've seen things play out. We're seeing similar price action with the pound against the US dollar. Take a look at this monthly chart because we think it is important to take a look at the big picture. We're seeing a market that has clearly bottomed out after that extreme low that we saw in 2022 down towards parity. And in recent weeks and recent days, we've seen a continued push higher to the point where the pound has now taken out the 2023 high, which comes in roughly around 31.50. And that sets up a potential higher low now in the 23 area, 123. And opens the door and sets the stage for this next major upside extension up towards critical highs right now that are in focus. First at the 2021 high around 142.50, and then the 2018 high up around 143.75. So it does look quite constructive. Of course, this is the monthly chart, so there are going to be pullbacks along the way, but we do expect that the pound will be well supported down into and ahead of the 123 area. And so, yeah, that's kind of where our focus is right now.
And it's going to be a huge week for the US market on the calendar this coming week, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I would say there's a lot going on next week, not only on the US side, but on the UK side. So we get UK and US retail sales data out next week. We have an important round of UK inflation data to focus in on. That's obviously going to be critical. Central banks are very sensitive to what's going on with inflation updates. And then, of course, the climax or the highlights of the week come in the form of central bank policy decisions, both out from the Fed and the BOE. And so that is going to be interesting to pay attention to. And if I were to look at the calendar next week, those are going to be the highlights, all and each capable of generating volatility. The important thing to note here fundamentally, as far as the outlook goes for a higher pound, is the yield differential. Monetary policy outlooks are, you're seeing a bit of a divergence here, or at least a BOE that's not as inclined to move as aggressively with rates to the downside. The BOE expected to hold next week, whereas the Fed is going to be looking to cut rates and continue to do so for the remainder of 2024. So that yield differential is favoring the pound as well, something that people should be paying attention to.
Import the Black Bull Markets calendar to your email to receive alerts about upcoming economic events in your inbox, enabling you to plan your positions in advance and seize trading opportunities. Follow the link in the description to get started.